Throughout history, some of the wealthiest people have used ruthless and even exploitative practices to build their empires. But what makes someone evil when it comes to making money? Here, we're talking about people who place profit above everything: ethics, fairness, even humanity. They're the type to bend rules, use others as stepping stones, and never let morality stand in their way. This approach often stems from a psychology rooted in what's known as Machiavellianism, a manipulative mindset that sees people as resources to exploit. Combined with ambition and a hunger for power, it drives some individuals to use tactics that others would avoid. They embrace this ruthlessness, seeing it as the price of success, and in a world that often values results over methods, it's a mindset that pays off. But how exactly do they turn this dark mindset into a fortune? For some, wealth comes from doing what others won't, exploiting loopholes, cutting corners, and often exploiting people. One of the core strategies is to profit off the labor of those with fewer resources or power. In many industries, they underpay workers, ignore safety, and look for any way to cut costs while maximizing profit. In some cases, they may even exploit legal grey areas, manipulating the law to protect their gains. Tax loopholes, offshoring funds, and lobbying for policies that benefit their interests create a legal shield, keeping them insulated from accountability. There's also the tactic of eliminating competition. Wealthy individuals who play dirty will use their resources to bankrupt competitors, sometimes through aggressive pricing tactics that force smaller businesses to close. And when they get involved in industries like banking or tech, they often push products or services that are designed to keep people dependent or in debt, feeding the very consumerism that funds their wealth. These methods might seem harsh or unfair, but that's precisely why they work in a system that rewards profit above all else. The ones willing to cross ethical lines often end up on top, precisely because their actions reduce competition and maximize profit. But if they're exploiting others and often bending the law, why don't they face consequences? This leads us to the next part: how they maintain and protect their wealth. The saying "money talks" becomes very literal here. Wealthy individuals with questionable ethics don't just sit on their money, they use it to secure influence. By building powerful networks with politicians, lawyers, and media executives, they insulate themselves from scrutiny. They sponsor political campaigns, fund lobbying groups, and make friends in high places. With these connections, they can sway policies in their favor, avoid regulation, and in some cases, escape justice altogether. Through these networks, they build a kind of shield, a circle of power and influence that protects them from legal consequences. White-collar crime is one of the hardest types to prosecute, and they know this. From hefty fines that barely make a dent in their fortunes, to strategic settlements that keep them out of court, they use every legal tool at their disposal to keep growing and protecting their wealth. So, are there any consequences? While some may eventually be caught in scandals or face public backlash, the reality is that wealth and power often provide insulation. But as awareness grows, so does the potential for change. People have started to demand more from companies, prioritizing ethical choices, supporting small businesses, and holding corporations accountable. While the system may currently reward those who exploit it, collective change is possible. When consumers make informed choices and governments push for stricter regulations, the reward for evil behavior can diminish. Perhaps then, we'll see a shift where wealth is truly reflective of value and not of who's willing to cross the most lines. The story of wealth is not always as glamorous as it seems. For some, it's built on exploitation, manipulation, and influence that keeps them untouchable. But understanding this cycle empowers us to make better choices, and perhaps, one day, redefine what it means to be successful. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts on how we can bring ethics back to wealth building.